tasked with effectively measuring results from 3 different sources. It's not going to go close to what Lucinia does, but instead we're going to focus on just Google Analytics, Salesforce, and a real simple internal marketing spreadsheet. We want to basically produce some effective analytics using whatever system we can that is repeatable but can merge all 3 sources. So before we get into the actual demo, I want to examine the problem a little more. We know that each source has been examined individually, internally by the company. Some Excel reports have been produced before, but they are difficult to produce, manually intensive. It take a month to put together and prepare up front, same as what Lucinia talked about. And there's some issues with lining up the data. We don't necessarily know, does everything match up on dates, on times, on location, everything else. But in this demo, I'm going to show you how Tableau can blend this data. So first, I'd like to go through a couple of ineffective approaches, a couple other approaches we could do without Tableau. One is to continue using Excel. It's familiar. We already have people who can use Excel, but it is slow and manual, as talked about before, and they don't necessarily have effective visualizations. There's some basic bar graphs we can do, but mapping's not that great, and some other issues. Google Analytics, we could actually import data from our other systems straight into Google Analytics. It's pretty easy import, pretty easy to bring in, and pretty easy to line up into Google, but again, we're slow and manual. We have to modify the data. We have to change the data to get it to fit into Google's schema. So there's some manual data manipulation. It's also focused just on web analytics. And there's limited visualization support. Last, we could use the Salesforce import. Again, great on sales analytics. They do have a simple import that you can do, similar to what Google Analytics does, or you can develop something that automatically brings in data into Salesforce. But same issues, manual import, data manipulation, focused completely on sales analytics, and not focused on either marketing or our actual web data as well. And we have limited visualization support. We could hire a developer or bring in some development to bring in this data, but something we don't necessarily want to do as just a marketing manager. So the Tableau approach is to skip all the data manipulation and just merge the data after we bring it into Tableau using something called data blending. Bring in the demo here, and I'm going to show you guys how that works. First, I'm going to show you the the dashboard that I'm going to build here real quickly. You can see I've got a sales hierarchy, I've got a map here, and we have both our sales data, so the number of sales. This is website visits from Google Analytics, as well as in our Excel spreadsheet, I've got information on when we started certain events. So when our LinkedIn campaign started, when paid search started, etc. All this is interactive. If I want to select, let's say, the Northeast, we're now only looking at data for the Northeast. If I want to only look at individual salespeople or large business salespeople, now we're only looking at large business data. Everything else is updating. It's fully interactive. Nice, quick, and easy. So I'm going to start with a blank workbook here just to show you how we can actually connect to Google Analytics first inside of Tableau. As you can see, when I bring up the workbook and choose Connect to Data, I have an option to connect to lots of different sources, including Salesforce or Google Analytics. Hopefully I'm still and assuming you have an account with Google Analytics, you can actually directly connect. You can see my Google Analytics connection. I actually just, you guys all read that? Is that too small? Well, if you could see it,
I'm connected up to StatSlice right now. It's asking me what
website, assuming you had, if you were marketing manager, you had access to that. I have the ability to select dimensions. If I want to choose something like visit length, or I want to choose state. So I have date, state, and province. I have the ability to take a look at site usage here. You can add multiple measures if you want. Tableau just gives you a couple if you want to look at page usage versus site usage. A couple different sections that you can select for measures. There are some limitations to the Google Analytics connector, as in you can only select 7 dimensions at any point in time, 10 measures, but you do have basically access to everything inside of Google Analytics, just not all at the same time. Say OK. And we are actually connected to Google Analytics with a live connection. If you look over here, I've got,
sorry, it's tiny guys, but I've got date, state, province, visit length, and all of my measures.
I can drag these over and bring this up, but I have some extractive data that I've actually modified for this demo. I'm going to switch to that. The connection to Salesforce is almost the exact same. You connect to Salesforce, you log in, you bring in the data, and it shows you your dimensions. But we're going to go through and actually build some of these views. So first, I'm going to take a look at, bring out dates, by month, and visits. And you can see all I did was basically set up columns to date, month, or visits by month, and we're now graphing straight from Google Analytics the visits we have to our website at any point in time. We'll do the same thing, only this time we're going to do Salesforce. You can see I've got all 3 connections already set up here. And instead, we're going to take a look at unit price sold. I'm going to show you a little show me. I've only selected on the left here just date and unit price sold. And show me allows you to quickly build different visualizations if you want to look at different ways to look at your data. Tableau is sort of telling you or suggesting what you can look at based on a dimension being selected and a measure. You select different things are highlighted versus not. We'll see that when I switch to map. So I'm going to go back to a graph, to a line graph, and switch this again to month. So now we're looking at sales over time. Now here's the power of Tableau, where I actually can blend in some data. I try to switch over to the Google Analytics connection. There's a little icon here that says that we can blend on date. I'm just going to double click visits. And Tableau has connected and blended the data on dates to show us both visits and unit price sold together. Switch this to dual axis. So now we can actually compare and contrast between the two. We'll add this even farther. And we'll bring in our marketing events. Now I brought in both an Excel spreadsheet. Let me actually bring that up. Marketing event spreadsheet is extremely simple. You guys can see this. Real simple. I just marked off specific dates when marketing events happen. This is dynamic data. Right now, if you look at the dashboard, we've got new campaigns showing up here. If I were to remove this, with no change to the dashboard, just refresh. I guess I actually have to save the Excel. And we lost a new campaign. It's just something that I added in to show you that this is live. I can do this with Google Analytics or with Salesforce as well. Before I go on here, I want to show you one interesting thing that we can do with Tableau. Let's say I looked at this data and I want to take a look at what happened during this LinkedIn campaign. We got no increase in sales. What happened here? I'm just going to select it and say keep on. And Tableau has now zoomed us into just over this LinkedIn marketing campaign. So we can see only what happened here. And to go a little farther, I'm just gonna hit the plus next to a month. So now we're looking at the data by week. With just a couple of clicks, I'm still merging, still blending the data, but I've dropped down now to weekly instead of monthly data. You can still see the peaks, you can still see what happened, but okay. So once we've built this merged data, now the next power of Tableau is for us to segment this data. I want to segment it by state. I want to segment this by sales group. So let's build a quick little map of sales by state. So again, I just selected state and sales, unit price sold. And Tableau is highlighting what I can possibly select. I'm going to choose the filled map. And Tableau gives us a nice big full map. But obviously there's some issues. I only want to look at basically the lower 48 states. How quickly can we filter these out? I'm going to take country, throw the filters, and I'm going to exclude Canada. I've got rid of most of the data. Now if I select Alaska and Hawaii, I'm also going to exclude these. That drops us down to the lower 48. And it looks like we had some sales in Puerto Rico, so I'll exclude that as well. And now we have a map. Again, I'm going through this very quick because I know we didn't have too much time, but just want to show you how quick it is to build some of this. Last, we're going to go through and build a quick visualization based on our salespeople. And please, unit price sold again. I've just double-clicked salespeople and unit price sold, and you can see that I've got my salespeople on one side. This has put everything as numbers on the screen for now. I'm going to switch this to a bar graph. Nice, quick and easy. Tableau walks you through it. And we're going to instead let's sort sales person by total sales. Decent, so we see the top end. So now we're looking just at salespeople across from top to bottom. Do one more here, which is a higher level group. Actually, we'll start from this one. We'll switch this back to a crosstab. Tableau has the ability for us to quickly create groups. I've already built it in this data set, but if I were to select a group here and group somebody, it allows us to group all of these people together. I can then alias these people and say this is group A. I can take another set. I'm just doing this randomly here for now. Create new groups, add and remove people based on the groups themselves. But I'm adding more information than what was in either the spreadsheet or not. We've got individuals who, what I used here, swap this out, is salespeople who are either sell to individuals, sell to large businesses, or sell to small businesses. Since I created a hierarchy and attached it, we can actually go down to the individual people associated with that. The only other thing I'm going to add now is days to close, and an average discount. Just double clicking them to bring that in. And I have my third visualization. Should hit from our merge data. The very last step is going to be, let's put this into a dashboard. I'll bring up the merge data first. Over here are the different visualizations that I've built so far. I'm going to bring out salesperson, bring sales groups, actually put them out here. Notice I'm just dragging out. When I drag something out here, I can put it basically anywhere on the screen. Tableau has the ability to put in floating, has the ability to do lots of different structures on your dashboard if you want. I'm just doing this real quick. Let's fit the entire view, so we line this up. Now we've got most of our dashboard together, but if you notice, I don't have any interactivity. If I select large business, doesn't change anything. Go one step further and say, set the map to be used as filter. Now if I select a portion of the US, it's now updated the merged data, it's updated what salespeople were available in that area, and what sales groups. We'll do the same thing here. Use this filter. So now I can select large businesses and Northeast. And now we're only looking at large businesses in the Northeast. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about how to use Tableau, show you how quickly we can build and look into how quickly we can build dashboards, how quickly we can connect to multiple sources. And I think that's pretty much all I have. My last step is just to go over Tableau. It meets all the needs of the project, of the case study we try to put together. It's an agile solution. If, let's say, we come back with this dashboard and people ask questions about, oh, we need to change and look at a different dimension from Google Analytics, we can do that extremely quickly. We'll just edit the connection, bring a different dimension, and drag that into the visualization. All of this is automated. Either push this up in the Tableau server and have it refresh. It's going to pull the data down automatically for us. Or I can right-click right there in desktop and refresh each one of the data sources live. So as we get new data, it's repeatable per month. No real work to do to recreate it. So it quickly delivers business value. It is easy to use. It is easy to learn. I've trained many people in using Tableau. It's one of my favorite things about Tableau is how easy it is to hand off to business analysts and people. The drag and drop interface is simple to understand, especially if you have somebody who starts with Excel. And it's easy to change. If we want to change it, redevelop, we're good.